Stephen's back with us with business. You're going to start with the latest on that controversy, aren't you, Stephen, with Google over this memo written by a member of staff about gender inequality.
That's right. The engineer who's been identified by American media as James Damore has been fired from the internet giant for perpetuating gender stereotypes. This after he wrote an internal document asserting that there were biological reasons why men and women weren't equally represented in the technology industry. Google's chief executive, Sundar Pichai, told workers on Monday that portions of the memo had violated the company's code of conduct. But he said that much of what was written was fair to debate, even if the majority of Google staff disagreed with it.
Let's turn next to the digital currency Bitcoin, value continuing to go up and up.
A single Bitcoin is now worth almost $3,500 according to CoinDesk. Now, it's been surging in value since the creation of a spin-off currency last week called Bitcoin Cash. Now, these sort of currencies only exist online. They can be used to pay for goods and services or to transfer money from person to person, but they're not backed by a central authority like a central bank, so their value is often less stable. The value of Bitcoin has fluctuated as its popularity has grown, but the price increase over the past year has been pretty impressive. In August of 2016, one Bitcoin was worth less than $600. It hit $2,000 in May of this year. It's been climbing steadily since then as well. The total value of all Bitcoins in the world has now surpassed $56 billion, and I don't own any of them.
No, I just wish we could have had that graphic a year ago.
If only we'd known.
But no. From one sort of trading to another now on the programme. How are the stock market's looking?
Well, European shares starting the day in the red, at least at the start of trading. Trading a little bit quieter in Europe because of the summer period. It's estimated that volumes are about a quarter lower than they usually are in London and in Frankfurt. The hotels group IHG is down 2% in London after their results disappointed investors. Over in Asia, investors there focusing on disappointing trade data coming out of China. Export growth in China slowed to just over 7% in July. That's down from 11% in June. All of that feeding into concerns over the state of China's economy. The stock market's not too worried in China, though. We've got both the Hang Seng and the Shanghai Composite trading up.
Now, unemployment in Spain is falling, really, from the heights of the economic crisis, but many young people are still choosing to move abroad to work.
The jobless rate at one stage for the under-25s in Spain rose above 50%. Spurred on by a deal with Berlin, tens of thousands of young people moved from Spain to Germany to take up work. Now, as the job market improves in Spain, some are choosing to move home, but others still see Germany as the best option for their careers.
Playing trumpet in his lederhosen, Jose is the picture of integration. The 31-year-old Spaniard is an apprentice electrician in Germany, where he's had to learn new skills and a new language.
Maybe some of my colleagues lack patience sometimes, but it's okay, I get it.
Jose left Spain after failing to find work, and an unemployment agency suggested he try his luck in Germany. Between 2008 and 2015, almost 50,000 of his countrymen moved to Germany in search of work, along with swathes of young people from Greece, Italy and Portugal.
There's no future in Spain. I would recommend young people get training here. It's really good.
Faced with a raft of unfilled jobs and an ageing working population, German Chancellor Angela Merkel launched a call in 2011 for young Spaniards to move to Germany. 2 years later, Berlin and Madrid signed a deal reserving 5,000 apprenticeships and full-time jobs for Spanish school leavers. 26-year-old Alberto works at a start-up in the German capital.
I knew that in Berlin there are a lot of opportunities and there are a lot of jobs in IT.
But as Spain's economy began to recover, more than 4,000 young people returned home in 2015, with some complaining they hadn't been able to find stable work in Germany. As for Alberto and Jose, they say they'll spend a few more years in the country. And while they recognise that Spain's recovery remains fragile, they are both eyeing an eventual return home.
Now, finally, when was the last time you bought a CD? Apparently, people are buying them again, thanks to one man.
That's right, and that man is Ed Sheeran. Physical music sales have been declining since downloads took off, but the most recent figures from the UK show that CD sales fell by just by 0.5% in the 12 weeks to July. That compares to a 13% drop in DVD and Blu-ray sales. This all according to a survey from Kantar World Panel. Now, Ed Sheeran's Divide album accounted for 1 in 10 CD sales since it was released in March of this year, meaning that 250,000 people in the UK have chosen to buy an actual record rather than download it or stream it instead. I still can't figure out what the last CD was that I bought.
I've been trying to think about it since an hour ago and I can't remember. There's at least 10 copies of Ed Sheeran's CD under the desk. Somebody's just left them.
They were a gift.
They're everywhere. Thanks, Steve. Steve, we're business.